Hello, class. Are you having a good day? We're going to hop right into our language arts time and do a few things here, and I hope you're getting everything. It's going to get a little easier. We're going to see more review, but we do have one more new thing, and then we'll just be, most of the rest of the year, we'll be solidifying very well in our mind these things we've learned and getting even better at it. So let's hop right into it. And as you can see, I'm looking at my my penmanship book here. And again, like I've said so many other times, in the front of your book, trace the letter there. You know, push this part here, push it back so that the perforated line, your paper, can actually go in there if you're not going to actually tear it out. Then if you tore it out, you could position it wherever you want on your paper, but it'll be less likely to lose it if you keep it in. And you can see that I've already done that with the letter H. I found, see how you can see through the paper? I found letter H, and I made sure that it was like positioned where it's on the line, looking through it, even though it's not, you know, it's larger than on our notebook paper. At least we're able to really trace. Tracing is really important to getting to mastering the letter. And so I traced, as you see there, picked up my pencil and went like that for H. And then I started at the bottom and I traced right over it so I could have a pretty much perfect H. I drew these lines to show you, look at the slant of these letters. Does your slant look about that at that angle? That's how all your letters should be. And not all of you have a slant like that. So that's the goal, to get a slant like that, not slanted the other way or straight up like that or even that way, but like that. And so then once you do that, you know, look at H and see that you can do it on your paper. Again, like that, about that far when you lift up your pencil and go down. And then, you know, look at it, go like that. And then you can go into the next letter, right? Lowercase h. Notice the formation. Again, it's going to be smaller when you just write within the lines. And then come up with a word. Horse, his, her, whatever you'd like to write. Hooray. Hippopotamus. Ooh, there's a tough one for you. Then go to I. Trace the I. You line it up on your paper. You can see through. Find I. And then there's lowercase I. Up, down, up, dot your I. Write the whole word, dot your I at the end. Don't stop in the middle of the word and dot your I. Don't do that. Finish the whole word first. Then start here at the bottom and go up. And then do your I. That's capital I. And that is a word. It's a whole word with one letter. And then there's lowercase I. Dot your I. Go to J. This is a troublesome letter right here. Capital J, particularly. Notice the shape of this letter, and I traced it onto the paper going through. Notice the tail. Look at the shape of that tail and look how skinny it is versus that. This should be much skinnier than this. This should be elongated there. See that shape? Then there's lowercase j, up, down, around, dot my I, or finish the word that I'm writing. So when I do a lowercase j, capital J, do you see the shape I'm going for. All right, so look at that. And I could have even had it, I feel like, even more elongated. Maybe more like that. Notice the tail. And let's say maybe instead of stopping, I could have written the word John, someone's name. All right, and do a good job with that. How about some peanut butter and jam on my bread? Oh, I'm sorry. Not everyone can have peanut butter, can they? But I like it. But you can put some almond butter. Or hey, I got some tahini the other day. You know what that is? That's actually like a sesame seed butter. So you might want to try that if you can't have peanut butter. And there's sesame seeds ground up instead of peanuts. And there's different things like that. So there we go. We wrote the letters, and now we're going to go on to the next thing. I'm going to pull a paper out here. Look at these words that I see here. See those? Let's look at them. Aristocratic, some vocabulary words you come across. Of royal or nobility, of the best quality. Aristocratic. Correspondent, a person who exchanges letters with another. I have a correspondent. I took a correspondence course with a CE as a noun form, or actually adjective form in that case, and where you're writing and sending things through the mail. Depot, a railroad or bus station. Depot. Gaunt, thin and bony. Gaunt. Glistening, shining with reflected light. Glistening. Obligation, a duty. Obligation. I'm going to flip this paper over that has it, and has all the words on it. And then look, here's the rest of them. Resolution, a decision to do something differently. Resolution. Shiftless, lazy, not having ambition. Shiftless. Strive, to put forth great effort. Strive. Waver, to go back and forth. To seem unsure. Do you waver in your decision? Do you waver in responsibility? We shouldn't, should we? We should stick to it. Strive to do your best. Don't be shiftless in your work and responsibilities. Resolution. Let's resolve to do our best, huh? Let's make a resolution of what we will do or what we won't do. Maybe you hear a message from a church service, and you resolve or make a resolution that from now on, I'm going to do this more, something good, or I'm not going to do this, maybe something that's bad. All right, well, I hope that's a help to you. And then I want to ask you a few questions in just a minute. So get your reading book and language book. So in your reading book, you read a story, and you're going to read some more for the next time. But let me ask you, what became of the first tree in the forest? This is a very good story. You're going to hear again later. But what became of the first tree in this story has a very special message in this story. Yes, did you say the first tree was made into a manger that actually held who? Jesus in it? Did you say something like that? Number two, what kind of vessel did the second tree become? Did you say that the second tree became a fishing boat? That's right. If so, give yourself a pat on the back. You remembered what you read. Again, comprehension is important, right? Number three, why did the fishing boat feel that he was part of a miracle? Why did the fishing boat feel that he was part of a miracle? Well, if you recall, Jesus taught people from the boat, and later Jesus told Peter to take the boat out to fish again. And the boat was filled with fish after the men had not been able to catch any fish, if you recall. Probably remember that from the Bible, don't you? There was a miracle. So the boat that was made from the tree was wood, and he felt that he was part of a miracle. How did the third tree point to God? Now let's think about what pointing is. See this? Point. Imagine this being a tree. How would this be pointing to God? Well, if you recall, it was made into what? A cross. And if I had another stick like this going the other way, I could make a cross just as the wood, which came from the tree, did. And so Jesus was crucified on a cross. And the cross was used as payment, or a symbol anyway, of what Jesus did as payment for our sin, that we might come to God. So in that sense, the cross points to God because it's a symbol of Christ, right? Jesus being crucified. And so that is how the third tree pointed to God. And even now, when someone sees a cross, that's immediately what most people think of. It's become a symbol for God, and more specifically to the Godhead of Jesus Christ. Well, you'll go on and you'll read some more in your book, right, for the next time. So go ahead and read the assigned pages, look at your assignment, and do all of it. This is a really good story. You need to read this one too for the next time. And then whenever it says, if it says to stop in at the middle of a page, like we're in the middle of a story, if it ever says to do that, usually there'll be a stopping point like there, there, and then the next time, if it says the same page again for the next time, then of course it's there that you start. So if you ever see that, that happened with history and science quite a bit too, where whatever section is a good stopping point, do that, or read the whole story. Really good. And actually, I think we did read the whole story there, but I'm not actually looking at the assignment. But you know what it is. And we're going to have a theme about cats, and finish up about cats and then going on to the next thing. All right. That's good as far as reading goes. Now we're going to do some language. So have your language book handy. Well, let's review a few things before we go on to the new material. This is exciting because we're actually conquering. And look for a video that I made, by the way. If you don't see it, there's a video I made specifically about sit and set and sat and all of that, and lie and lay. So you look for that. You'll see a little cartoon in there. And that's specifically for that, to really get that down, as that is something that we have struggled with. And there's reason for that. It's harder. And so you try that. We're going to talk about that right now before going on to what's new. Lie does not require what? An object. But lay does. I want to focus on that sentence right now. So lie does not require an object, but lay does. You lay something down, right? You lay the paper on the table or the pencil on the table, right? But you lie down, there's not an object with it. So I can lay the baby in the crib, right? There's the object, right? I'm laying what? The baby in the crib. And let's review a few of those right now. I'm going to ask you a few questions, or actually give you a few sample sentences, and you tell me what words should go in the blank. You actually did a few of these already, but let's just see without looking at anything if you know the answer to these. I saw 6 large ships. Is it laying or lying at anchor? You should have said lying, because the ships aren't actually placing anything, are they? So it has to be lying. They have been laying new railroad tracks or lying? Laying, because it has an object. Laying what? Tracks. The dust is lying or laying upon the leaves. The dust is lying or laying. It's lying there, right? The dust isn't, there's no object that it's doing something to, is there? So it is lying. The leaves are lying on the grass or laying on the grass. They are reclining, so they're lying. The masons are lying or laying the foundation. What does a mason do? They put bricks down, maybe to that sort of thing, make a building. They are laying them, right? They're placing them, maybe putting cement in there to solidify them. The children are lying or laying on the floor. They are lying on the floor. Now, often you'll hear people say laying. He's laying down for a nap. No, he's lying down, right? Laying has an object that you're placing somewhere. A book is lying or laying on the table. That's right, lying on the table. I lay the book on the table, but it is lying there, right? It is lying there. He has been lying there all day or laying there all day? Laying there all day. Keep practicing lie and lay. Here's a few examples of some others that we learned. There are 4 cows in the pasture. There. Which there is it? Spell it. Did you say T-H-E-R-E? There are 4 cows in the pasture. There. That's right. Samuel and Sarah quickly obeyed their teacher. Which there is it? Their teacher. It's the one used as a pronoun and often an adjective pronoun because it comes in front of a noun. Their, T-H-E-I-R. Raise your hand if you got that one right. They're coming over after school today. They're coming over after school today. Which one is it? Did you say T-H-E-Y apostrophe R-E? Remember, with the apostrophe, you can put the word R there. They are. If you cannot put the word R in there, don't use that one, okay? There. Raise your hand if you got that one right. Now, if you missed one of these, replay this again and hear it again, and maybe it'll make sense. Maybe you just weren't, maybe you knew and you just weren't thinking about it. You were just a little off in your mind or something like that. The ticket will cost $2. Spell it. Did you say T-W-O? Good job. Dan ate too many brownies yesterday. Uh-oh. Which 2 is it? Did you say T-O-O? That's right. Will you go to church on Sunday? Will you go to church on Sunday? Which 2 is it? To church. Yes, it's the preposition T-O, to church. Remember, there's a noun or adjective after it, and it's a preposition, and there's an object of the preposition that follows it. So, to the store, to church, to the ground, whatever, to the house, to the shed, whatever you have in your sentence. So practice those. Hopefully you got all those 100%. And that leads us to today's lesson. If you look at what I've written up here. There are 4 words I want us to learn today. They are learn, teach, can, and may. Now, I've actually mentioned these already this year. And you learned them last year too, if I have it correct. Learn means to obtain knowledge. Learn means to obtain knowledge. You go to school to learn, don't you? But teach means to give knowledge. The receiver learns. The giver teaches. So the teacher teaches you. So Mr. Doyle will teach you and you will learn. Now, in another setting, I might go somewhere and I might read something I've never heard before, and I might learn something from it, right? Because in that case, I'm receiving knowledge from the book I read or whatever, and I learn it, right? Then once I learn something and I show someone else, then I teach it. You can be a teacher too. You don't necessarily have to be a teacher at a school to be a teacher. You can tell your younger brother or sister or niece or nephew or cousin or friend something that you learned, right? And you can teach them how to do this. You could teach someone how to tie their shoes. But if you're receiving the knowledge or getting the knowledge, you learn. So I don't learn someone something, I teach them something. But if I receive the knowledge, I learn it. Hopefully you know those. Can and may, often misused. We want to do it correctly. Can refers to the ability or power. I can do that, right? I am able to do that. I can do that. I can run fast, right? I can play soccer, football, right? I can. May means permission. Can I get a drink? Oh, it's falling off. I knew that would happen. This isn't a real chalkboard that I'm making do. You like it? Can refers to ability or power, but may refers to permission. Can I get a drink? No, you're not. Can you? Do you have the ability to get a drink of water? No, you're not really meaning that. You're getting permission, right? So use may. If it's something you're getting permission to do, say may. If it's something that you have the ability to do, I can do all things through Christ which strengtheneth me. I can. I have the ability because of the Spirit of God, or whatever the case may be. I can. May I come? May I come along to the store? You're getting permission, so may. Not, can I come? This keeps falling. I'm gonna have to get this better for the next time. We're almost done though. Hang in there a little longer. And it's just taped on there. All right. Did I get your attention? Did I get someone's attention? May refers to permission. Can refers to ability. We're gonna stop this real soon, and hopefully for the next video I'll have it on there better. Well, you take care. You do the page and do what is required, and look at page 251 and 252, and you're going to be reviewing those things on page 252. You'll be reviewing page 251. See if you can do it. You'll see a picture of a duck and her ducklings. And again, learn, obtains knowledge, can, is the ability, may is permission, and then was another one, teach, you're giving knowledge. I'm giving you knowledge, I'm teaching, you're receiving knowledge, you'll learn. Any questions, let me know. And you take care, and hopefully next time I'll get that on the wall better, but at least you were able to see what we were doing today. And I hope you're having a wonderful day. And I'll see you next time. Bye. Look for the next video.